Welcome to another episode of last week's Comics Today. It is a decent sized week this week. I said it was going to be small, and that's because it's padded out with a couple of trades and some even older comics. So let's jump right into it. Lock and Key Helen Gone issue 2 actually came out 2 weeks ago, but if you saw last week's video, you know that I didn't review this at the time because I hadn't read issue 1 yet, and as it turns out, I also hadn't read issue 0. I don't know if I set out to wait on reading these until the whole series was out, or that's just the way things shook out, but I think it worked out pretty well for me. I mentioned in last week's video that this came out, it has an April release date, and this came out in October? What are we in? September? It was a long wait between issues if you were reading them as they came out. But I think it works really well as a single sitting. So I started with issue 0. This is the same era of the Locke family as Into Pale Battalions Go, which I have read and I also recommend. So it's nice to see a continuation and not just I would be interested in this too, but just different eras of the Locke family throughout time. It's nice to, get a little bit of additional information. So it starts here, then it continues on into issue 1, obviously. But this is mostly Locke, and it starts to cross over into Sandman. This is mostly Sandman with some Locke and Key characters, and I'm really surprised how well these two universes work together. It's practically seamless. So if you haven't read either, I definitely recommend it. I don't know how these are being collected. I assume they will be to go along with the rest of the main series, but I would think, it makes the most sense to me at least, that this series would be collected with Into Pale Battalions Go. I just haven't looked that up to know for sure, but definitely recommended. Firepower 16 has a whole lot of snakes. So there's something rather startling happens on the island with the adults, and then something troubling happens at home with the children, and both are fantastic developments. I'm continuing to love the series. It's a little bit weird just for me as a reviewer to talk about an ongoing series that I enjoy, because so much is built on previous issues that you're just like, yep, it's still good every week, every month. So it is still good, still recommended. That's all I have to say. As far as first issues go, A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance is terrible. I really expected more from Remender, but most of this issue is silent. So we've got, it's a guy going to a house and he has trouble along the way. And there's additional trouble once he gets to the house. But other than that, this has nothing to sink your teeth into. There's a mystery, and that's about it. I expected better. Son of Kal-El, I really liked the first issue, was less keen on issue 2, and then this week was such a small week that I decided to pick up issue 3 as well, which also came out 2 weeks ago. It's better than issue 2, but there's basically, I don't understand why they're writing Superman out into space. So by Superman, I mean John's father, because they're now calling John Superman. As far as the writing of the family goes, this I really enjoy that. So this reminds me of Tomasi's run on Superman. It's a really well-written family. I just don't understand the direction DC is going with sending Superman off into space. I like the John aspects, though, and the final page is a cliffhanger shocker ending that will probably get me to buy issue 4. I just don't know. I don't know where this is going. If it leaves Clark behind and he goes off into space for whatever reason and we get a really good John series, then I think that's good. I think that would be enough for me. I just don't understand the reason why DC is deciding to go that way. There's such a sense of creeping horror throughout this entire issue. I love it. Everything about this book, the writing, the mood, the art, everything combines into this fantastic horror that this is my kind of horror. Like, I don't care about gore and slashing and jump scares and that kind of stuff, but this is so well done. Highest possible recommendation. This is an underdeveloped thought that might benefit from a discussion with Dan, but I sometimes wish Marvel and DC would just cancel all ongoing books and just do miniseries. Sort of events, not necessarily, but miniseries. Just self-contained things. This is good. I'm enjoying it. I hope it ends well. That is generally my problem with event books, is it starts out really well, ends terribly. And this is giving me deceased feelings. So I've got my fingers crossed, man. I hope it's good. Some interesting and terrible things happen this issue, and I'm still in. I'll probably get the whole series. Ascender Volume 4 also came out this week. This is the end of the series that started with Descender. It's a total of 50 issues. I've already changed my mind once on whether or not I'm going to do a review for this. I am now thinking I am, so I'm going to not talk about this here other than to say it's great, highly recommend it. Lopper Volume 4 is another book that came out 2 weeks ago. I didn't have time to fit this into last week's video. However, I have since also made a decision that for trades and graphic novels that I will do a separate video. Those are my Saturday videos, where I will review those just to make those more easily searchable. The headline for this is "It's really good and recommended." And check out that video. If I get my timing right, it will be up this Saturday. If I don't, then it will be up some future Saturday. But it's good. It's great. Love it. And that's everything I bought this week. Ultimately, it was a great week. This Lock and Key, as I said, came out 2 weeks ago. Far better than I expected. Fantastic read. The one disappointment for me was A Wretch's Thirst for Vengeance. I love Remender's other work. This is, in my opinion, not on that level. Maybe it will be eventually, but as far as first issues go and hooking me as a reader, it didn't work at all. In my opinion, far and away, the best book of the week, The Me Who Love in the Dark. This series, so good. I can't even fully express. Like, just read it, because I can't convey how good this is. Again, that's it for this week. I bought all of these at my local comic shop. If you don't know where yours is, you can use this URL to find the one closest to you.